Okay, so here's the CX5 in my Toastmaster um, frying pan, or pan. So it's pretty soft, pretty melty. Actually, I think this is a mixture of the soft and the hard CX5. I don't exactly remember. It's pretty hard though. It's mostly the hard stuff. So I have it I have it about 200 degrees labeled on this heating pan, and it's like it's in a putty type of state right now. But it when it I guess depend on the ambient temperature. This stuff will cool and harden up quick. So it's suggested to run it at a to run the pan at a cooler temperature, but I think that it cools down and hardens way too quick, and actually I don't see how anybody can sculpt with it at this point. I can barely make an armature with it. I was kind of disappointed. It's still a good sculpting material, but I was a little bit disappointed about how fast it hardens and the working time that it gave me, like when I was starting to work with this stuff. I guess also because I didn't have all the materials that was suggested to use with it. Each time I bought a new tool or something that was suggested to use with it, my progress was getting a little bit better when I was working on my model. So right now I'm forming out basic shapes because at this point this is as good as it's gonna get. You're not gonna get far at uh, you're not gonna get that far when sculpting anything when it's melted at this point. So I'm trying to get as basic roughing out forms. I think those are the forearms of for this demonstration. I'm not gonna make a full body sculpture with this. This is just a tutorial on uh, how I make joints with wire and working with wax, or specifically CX5. I don't remember because this was previously recorded, so I'm recording the audio right now. I don't know if those are the forearms or the upper arms. So I'm just taking out a clump of CX5, and I have it at such a high temperature. I think it's kind of a little bit too uncomfortable for my fingers at this point. So that's sticking to my fingertips. I want to get every little piece because this stuff is kind of expensive. I think it was like 23, 24 bucks for a brick. I don't remember. I don't remember how much you get. Probably like I don't know how. I don't remember how much it was. It wasn't that big. Yeah, I'm working on. I'm making the upper arms now. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. Oh, I turned it down a little bit, I guess. Maybe it was too hot. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't exactly remember what the suggested temperature is. Probably 150 degrees, maybe. I don't remember, but that's that stuff will. If when you leave the lid off of that cooker, all the heat will escape, and then the upper layer of wax will start to harden and cool down, and then whatever's touching closer to the heating element, it will stay melted. So it's a good idea. It's a good idea to keep the lid on top of it as much as you can, so that you can trap all that heat. The heat won't escape, and then everything will get all warmed up, start to become more soft and pliable. That wax ain't coming off. It doesn't come off too easy like clay does. Like oil-based clay or super sculpy. well, at this stage, at least it comes out with interesting texture. It looks like a, a wad of bubble gum or a deformed appendage with folds, flaps of skin, maybe. I don't know. It's an interesting texture, but like I said before, you can't really get that far with at this stage. Just blocking out forms is all you can pretty much do. It's it's soft in the center and it's crunchy on the outside. There's nothing much. There's nothing much you can do at this point. So I'm comparing the segments together. It's good enough.